Good morning. Good morning. Need my sunglasses because it's gonna be bright on the drive back. Let's see. Excuse me. People late to drop their kids off or driving super fast. Good morning, Jeanette. Good morning, Native. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, currently there's some new features. I'm not driving to the park today. I'll drive home. Then I'll switch this to my PC. I haven't done a stream in a couple days because I was babysitting. A friend of mine, um, she's a single mom. She works some odd jobs and had a job that came available for a couple days down in San Diego. And she's got the two cutest little girls. They're just so much fun. So she asked me if I would watch them for 2 days. So I had my son, and it's been a while since I've had preschoolers in my house. So I didn't have like a lot of toys, so I had to get creative on things to play with. But we had fun. They really enjoyed my puppets. I pulled out the puppets, and we were having some fun with that. They wanted to do a puppet show for me. It was too cute, but yeah, we had fun. I watched a lot of Super Kitties. Apparently, it's a new show for kids. But they were like, every time we'd sit down and be like, okay, should we turn on a movie or something? I'm thinking like, oh yeah, we'll watch Cinderella or something. Nope, Super Kitties. I was like, okay, this is what you want. And then they went back to their mom yesterday, so me and the little man, we had another day to ourselves, and we decided to go to the movies. And we went and we saw the. No one wants to look up your nose. Well, sorry, this is the only angle I can give. But yeah, we went. We saw the Rock's movie, the uh, the Smashing Machine, about Mark Kerr, the MMA fighter. Was a good movie. If you're looking for a movie that's like very fast paced, that's not it. It's a very serious movie. Um, Delves into the very early days of MMA fighting. He mainly was in the Pride series, so um, it was about that. About he has a struggle with addiction, and then issues, marital issues, all while trying to fight, some of the biggest fights of his career. So it was very interesting, very interesting. For me, I enjoyed it a lot. It's not going to be a movie for everyone. Um, it was very much a serious movie. So, will I think actors, they get to a certain point and they're like, no, I want to try for an Oscar. This is his Oscar try. He might win one. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like, I don't think it'll be best picture, but there's good performances in it. really good performances in it. And oh, what's her name? Emma. She was in the movie with Tom Cruise where he kept dying every day and would come back to life. Um, she's married to Jim from The Office. She was in it. Um, those were like the only two big actors in it. Some of the other actors I've seen in other stuff, but they were more character actors. Um, so yeah, it was pretty interesting. But lots of people for like actors coming in. A lot of fighters. You could tell a lot of fighters were playing in it. Um, you know, guys without lines. So yeah, pretty interesting. Your power went out. Oh no, not a good thing. It is. It's 49 degrees here this morning. It was 47. It's starting to warm up. It's only going to be 67 here today. Uh, that's why I'm wearing a hoodie. So yeah, fall has officially made it to the desert. And I'm doing some things with some of my plants. Oh, you had a storm? Hey, Jem, good to see you. Sorry I haven't been able to greet everyone. I'm driving. It's always interesting. We got some of the plants in bloom because it's cooled off. We get a couple that bloom in the fall here. Most everything does it in the spring, but we'll get those that bloom in the fall. It's actually very green right now. We're talking about that. We were driving by the one dry lake bed, and that doesn't always get very green, but this year it is. We've gotten a lot of water. I don't know if that's a salty lake or not. Some of these are. There's they used to be salt lakes and oceans here. So, as it dried up, the salt is left, and then when the rain comes in, it'll puddle up and be very. And that's actually where a lot of your sea salt comes from. It comes from the desert. And I know people are like, well, how is it sea salt? Because it used to be from the sea. That's how it got here. So yeah, that's where you get a lot of it. It doesn't actually come from the oceans. It comes from former oceans, or where the oceans used to be. They finally worked on these roads here, so they're a lot better. We had a lot of sand and stuff wash out these roads, and I mean, it was like I was driving on them, it was like clank, 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 clank underneath my car, all the rocks. But they've come through a couple times. It kind of made me mad because after the last rain, my road was actually in really good shape, and they took those big tractors down to plow it up, and it actually made it a little bit worse. Um, but they've got their orders. That's why they're doing it. You know, people sitting in the office, they don't know which roads are good, which ones are bad, so they just do all of them. But so yeah, they plowed them, but after a couple days of plowing and going through, and finally they're good again. So, but yeah, takes the people will argue with me, but I used to work construction, and if when it rains and it's like a light rain, okay, not like pouring down rain, you'll get some of the best compaction of forget. And so it was pretty well compacted, so driving on it was nice. And then you send a tractor or two down with those big wheels, it loosens it all up. Well, they after going days of plowing, it actually compacted it again. So, like here, we're on my road, you can see it's not too bad. You don't hear rocks clink, 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 which you were hearing, or it would be super soft and my wheels would start spinning. It's a lot like driving in loose snow. I know TC knows what that's about. All right, got my coffee. Let's get in here. It is chilly this morning. No birds. So cold, all the birds are hiding. Hi, King. King was not happy that the girls were here. Not happy at all. He was like, "These kids are so loud." Okay. All right. Get this going. Rained up north yesterday and last night. I see now I can go through and read. They're widening the highway, replacing the bridge with a larger one. See, I I always have a problem here in California because they never do that. Um, like it never makes sense the way they do it. Okay. Come on. There we go. Am I joining the rat race? Oh, I'm in the rat race. Yep, hit the likes. Thank you. Thank you, TC. It's been raining a lot more this year. Oh, thank you, AVA. Oh, you doing a controversial stream, TC? Get out of here. Hey, yeah. Welcome. Look, Ben Hackham. Well, thank you. Welcome, welcome. I'm join on my PC and then I'll end it on the phone here. I just got to get everything lined up. Bring the microphone in here. All right. Why is this full screen? Don't want that. There we go. Whoa. Had a little bit of echo there. Sorry about that. Let me get the chat up there. Oh, and Georgie joined us. Welcome, welcome. Oh. See, everything got moved. The girls were playing with the racism gong. They were playing with that. So yeah, a lot of my stuff got moved over here. All right, get that. All right. Yeah, sorry about the echo. Hey, Coop, good to see you. Let's see. I want to go through and see if there's anything I missed. Power was out for the bit of construction yesterday. Ooh, I hate it when that happens. It's like
You can't plan for that. They can. They can. They're just choosing not to. All right. All right. Good morning, all you guys. Sorry that I wasn't able to welcome you. Uh, the government shutdown still going. I'll be on base later on today, but Trump did order that they are to pay the military. So that's good. That's really good. I'm glad about that. Um, because I'm tired of seeing military and veterans being used as pawns. And the thing is, both sides, this is a political game. Both sides are playing this game. So if someone tells you it's Republicans, don't listen to them. If someone tells you it's Democrats, don't listen to them. Both sides are doing this. Like, and they both can go F themselves for doing this. All right. See, I'm getting all my stuff pulled up here. TC's going to ruin a time honored tradition. Get out. Get out. Oh, I just want to check the monetization. Make sure. So, would you guys like it if I do what Coop and Georgie do, where they will take they'll they'll do a goal, and if they get enough super chats and like super chats, super stickers to hit that goal, they then will stop with ads. Do you guys like that? Just let me know your thoughts on it because I'm interested in it. Like I think that's a pretty good thing. Do you wear 100% cotton jumper or zip hoodies? Yes, I do. In fact, right there on the wall behind me, I have one of my Veteran Nation ones. I sell those on the site. I think they go for $34. Let me pull that up. I try to keep them affordable, especially the hoodies. People love hoodies. So, okay, so right now I've got, if you like the logo on the back, I've got a Veteran Nation zip hoodie for $29. Now you're gonna have to pay about $9 in shipping. That's the only downside about the place that I use is they do have uh, a large amount for shipping. But okay, yeah, I'll pull here. Can I do a share screen? Yep, here we go. So this is the Veteran Nation. This is on the back. That's the front right there. Here, let me do it. It comes in several different colors. So here's blue. So that's it with it on the back. Why did this? Whoa. This is okay. There we go. So this is the logo on the back. And then on the front, it's just blank. It comes in black, it comes in heather, and it comes in gray. Like, uh, what do they call that? It's the color of fleece. So yeah, we have that. That's $29. Now, if you become a member of Veteran Nation, why am I not? So yeah, if you become a member of Veteran Nation, then you get a 20% off discount code. So yeah, and that's a fairly new hoodie. I actually created that one because my mom likes zip up, but she said something about every zip up hoodie that she sees always has the logo on front. And I've got this one here. This one here that does have the logo on the front, so you can see it. This one doesn't have anything on the back. Uh, right there you can see, but it's got the logo on the front there. So this thing does some weird stuff when I do a share screen. Need it in army green. For the logo on the front, that only comes in one color, the heather. For the one with it on the back, I've got those three colors. They don't always give me options on the colors. That's that's just the way it is. It's all I can do about it. But yeah, so I I do have 'em. I've got the one for me. So yeah, we got we got a good amount of people in here watching on various different places. Let me check on X, see how we're doing there. Got like 40 people watching. I appreciate you. Appreciate y'all. Okay, good amount of people watching on X. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want a hoodie with Lisa in a hijab. um, Georgie, should I talk about the stalker or no? Because yeah, I don't know. Do you think I should? I'm just checking. I want to see how this looks on YouTube because it's showing like I've got it set up one way, but it's showing me okay. Okay, it's showing me another way. Okay, I won't show any of your stuff, Georgie. I just I do want to talk a little bit about your stalker. So the stalker is very gets very upset when I talk about her. But um she's in Fleece's chat now trying to say various things. Like she's saying that they have files, which they do, and Georgie's thing. They when people do stuff, yeah, a lot of people. We have that in the. Oh, thank you, Dwayne. Dwayne's over watching on Rumble. Thank you, I appreciate that. Um, make sure you guys subscribe to the Rumble. We're Veteran Nation over on Rumble, so yeah, please subscribe to us there. No spaces on Rumble, just Veteran Nation. Same thing with TikTok, Veteran.nation on TikTok. Yeah, she's completely flipped sides because no one on this side, when you turn on people, okay, it's one thing to have beef with someone. Like you guys saw, I had beef with someone, and for a month, one whole month, I never discussed them, even though they were discussing me. That individual did a whole live stream on me, but I'd never discussed that individual. So because I was fully inclined to move on, but then when they wouldn't stop, that's when I was like, okay, now I'm gonna talk. Same thing kind of happened with the stalker. We ignored the stalker for a couple months, and then they just wouldn't stop, kept up with the lies, and just uh, you want the chat overlay? You guys want the chat overlay? I was told that you guys wouldn't like the chat overlay because there we go. Uh, because I know when we show up in YouTube's vertical feed, the chat overlay it automatically puts the chat as an overlay. So there we go. I'm happy to do the chat overlay because I know it doesn't do it on X, and I know it doesn't do it on Rumble. So happy to do it. But yeah, so we didn't talk about her for the longest time, and that she just wouldn't stop. Just clearly couldn't move past it. So then it was like, okay, now we're gonna start talking about her. And so we've talked about the stalker. Well, then she started emailing people, which is harassment. If if I'm emailing people to try to get them to talk about you, that's harassment. It's 100% harassment. Um, like meets the legal definition because you're trying to get people to do something they normally wouldn't do. So yeah. Well, the only people who took her emails seriously were the haters, Felisa and all those people. So guess what? Now she's completely flipped. She was writing things against Jeremy Hales. She was writing things against Megan and Tug, and writing things against Georgie and myself. Uh, some of the things were true about, Georgie has a Discord server. Yes, people do keep stuff in there, but some of the stuff, from my understanding, some of the stuff that she was saying that was in there was a lie. Um, let me pull up. I'm not going to put it on the screen, but I want to make sure I'm seeing the correct things because I had people send me stuff. Okay, that one's on. Yeah, she said, I saw Sunday and it was disgusting. Both of them were not acting very Christian at all. He wants to be an influencer and he is a bad one. I believe that was about Jeremy. So she's completely flipped because uh she used to be very pro Jeremy and now she's not. All because no one wants her her craziness. I'm trying to pull up my email here right now, Coop. Uh yeah, she's been copyrighted. Yeah, I'm not gonna show all the screenshots. I'm looking at the email, I see all the screenshots here. I'm not gonna show you guys if you I think Georgie said she wants to show the screenshots, and I'm not go to Georgie's show and watch. Go to Georgie's show and watch her show the screenshots. Um, because yeah, like it's pretty crazy a lot of the stuff that she says. Will this let me preview them? Yeah, she's claiming that we spread misinformation. Yeah, it's oh wait, it will let me go through. Um, oh yeah, she's saying that the Discord's used to think up lies. That's not true. We'll joke about stuff. We will absolutely joke about stuff. But yeah, no one in the Discord is spreading any lies. And she has pictures from when she was in the Discord. She claims she's still in the Discord. I don't think she is. Uh, that's that's a bluff. Um, the call to CPS was when I started questioning. That's complete and total BS. That is complete and total that like that's when most people found this show is when I made the call to CPS. Uh yeah, oh, I took 9 months to figure out this BS. Whatever. Yeah, she's totally anti Hales now because you know, that's the thing about people with mental illness. They're going to seek out people uh who will join in on their delusions. Hey, Boof Clouds. Funny name. Yeah, they're going to seek out people who are going to latch on to their delusions. I saw this with my ex. You see this with other people. They're gonna surround themselves with yes men, people who, and the thing is, and you see this with Lynette. That's why Lynette has not dropped Felisa, even though Felisa has ripped her off. That's why she has not dropped Deuce is because these are all people who, oh yeah, yeah, Jeremy's bad, and they're feeding into her nuttiness. And like Democrats, yeah, there are some Democrats like this. Like you're very uber left woke people. Yeah, that's the same mental illness. But yeah, she is latching onto people who. So that's why what she's saying isn't principled at all, because she'll go whichever way that the wind blows. And that's how people with a lot of mental illness, like, oh, I'll support your delusions if you support mine. Me, I love people around me who tell me when I'm wrong. No, no, you're wrong. Look at me and TC. Me and TC, there's a lot we agree on. There's a lot we don't agree on. If you guys could see our text messages, like, we will argue about things. We will disagree about things. Um, and that's healthy. That's healthy. Because we're two people who enjoy having our worldview challenged. You can come in, and I allow people to come in here and tell me, Skipper, you're all left up. Good. Come in here. Tell me I'm wrong. See right there. AVA telling me I'm wrong. And that's what I appreciate, because I would much rather be wrong and know it and be able to analyze why I'm wrong than to be uh, right for the wrong reasons. And because when you're right for the wrong reasons, eventually you're going to be wrong, and you're setting yourself up for a huge failure. The stalker deleted all the videos from here. Community post. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That shows you right there. Like, I leave everything up. There's a reason why I like having the chat overlay, because it's transparency. There's a lot of people out there, good and bad, who don't put a chat overlay, who have their YouTube set up to where the live chat goes away. And see, the thing about that, here, there's a couple reasons why I don't like that. First reason is, then when people who watch on replay, they uh like, I might react to somebody and they're like, what is he talking about? And they're lost. You have your moments. Thank you, Georgie. Uh, Me and Georgie will argue, and it's healthy. It is healthy. It never goes into a bad place. I People who are telling me I'm wrong, I always look to see, okay, are they being genuine? And if they are, then fine. But yeah, so if someone might say something and I'll react to it, and if you're watching on a replay and the live chat's not available, then no one knows what the hell I'm talking about, and they're going to dip out of my replay. Uh, the other thing is transparency. As I've told everyone here, sunshine is the best disinfectant. So, if you can see what I've said, what others said, we can all be held accountable. And, I've had people been like, hey, on this stream, you said this, but now you're saying this. How are you not a hypocrite? And I have to have some type of justification for the two. And sometimes I don't. And it's like, yeah, you know what? That was hypocritical of me. Or I've changed my mind. And the thing is, that's one thing that people, like, are in our society today. They have a problem with people changing their mind. I think people should be able to change their mind. Um, I'll say it. I used to be very, very much a Christian conservative. I am not anymore. Uh, I'll just say, when it comes to abortion, it's not a big deal for me. I finally started analyzing that issue, and I was like, this is kind of a stupid issue to get so passionate about, because it doesn't affect me. And I can spend a lot of time and energy trying to stop it. And honestly, for a lot of Christian conservatives who do that, it ends up making it legal. So for me, I just don't care. I was dating a girl for a while, and she was liberal, and it's California. You're gonna meet liberal women here. And oh yeah, this was like 4 years ago, and she broke up with me because she was like, "Well, y- uh, you're pro-life. And I was like, I mean, I want children killed? No. I don't. I think that's a bad thing. However, do I want to fight about it? No. I told her, I said, I really don't care about the issue. For me, if I got a woman, I told her, I said, if I got you pregnant and you didn't want the baby, I would say, have the baby and let me take it. Like, that's the way I am. Like, for me, like, I understand that every time I have sex, you know, I'm probably going to get someone pregnant. That's the deal. But there's a lot on the left who won't acknowledge that. They think that they should just have a world without responsibility. I don't agree, but it's also not that big of a deal to me. A lot of these, there's a reason why when a lot of these abortion things go up for vote, why abortion ends up winning, because the pro-choice message is, it's a stronger message than the pro-life message. And if you're pro-life and you don't believe I'm right, well, the facts show you to be wrong. Has anyone told you that you were wrong about how long the shutdown would last? Yeah, I said I expected to go a week. I said it could be longer, but I expected a week. Because traditionally that's about how long they go. Here's the thing: it's gonna go now. I think it's probably gonna go 30 days, close to 30 days. But that's because the way it is on the ground changes every single day. But I will say the one thing I did say about it, I still remain true. Once the polls start deciding, really deciding which side is to blame, that's when they're going to come to the table and say, okay. Uh, but the thing is, like, it's both sides' fault, and anyone telling you it's not is they're a liar and they're wrong. It's both. The government shutdown is both sides' fault. They are playing a political game, and I'm glad that Trump took the military out of the equation, because the military is now getting paid. But yeah, uh, the yeah, I hate it when they use the military as military and veterans as a bargaining chip, and they both sides do that. And anyone saying that they don't is a liar and a moron, because that is 100% true. I can show you facts on that. But yeah, I don't want yes men around me. The stalker, yeah, she is now anti Jeremy Hales. Why? Because her attacks on Georgie, and to a lesser extent myself, have not worked. In fact, when she started emailing people on the Jeremy Hale side, like, everyone knows where me and Georgie stand on that issue. You know where we stand. And we, when you're going to people who also are on the same side, they're going to be like, why are you attacking her? And it makes you more suspect. Many pro-life people are also pro-freedom. That's why abortion is legal. True. There's many libertarian outlooks on that. And many, many, many. For me, I, I actually like the way the Supreme Court ran it. I think it should be a state's issue. I think it should be put up to vote in every state. And if you notice, like Kansas, a very Christian state, even allowed it. I think there are times where it should be allowed. I really do. Do I like it? No, I hate it. But I can see there are times where abortion should be allowed. Navy Federal and USAA will pay up to 6K. I could be wrong. They will. Navy Federal, though, right now, because as you guys know, I'm in a lot of various veteran message boards. USAA did, uh, uh, they did pay people. Navy Federal has been listing the payment as pending. So while they've said that they're doing that, it's considered pending. What they generally do is they give people, it's an interest-free loan that they're gonna of your pay that they're gonna deposit in. Then when the government gives back pay, they're gonna pay it all. Then they're gonna pay the loan off. So your pay is actually not affected. Your only pay gets the only way your pay gets affected if you're in the military is if they check your pay for whatever reason, which the military loves to frickin' do, which is bullshit. Personally, the effing government, Fed, and state need to keep their laws off our bodies. I have a gut feeling she isn't done. Oh, she's not going to be done attacking Georgie or me or me. Um, the more we talk about her, the more she's going to come after us. And sadly, the more she's going to go after Megan, Tug, Jeremy Hales, anyone on that side. But, that's the thing. Me and Georgie, we've been very consistent, very principled in a lot of the stuff that we do. So that's why people, we have credibility. Like, and there are people out there who'll tell you I won't have credibility. But if you ask them, how will Skipper feel about this? They'll get it right most of the time because I have credibility. Like, I have principles and credibility, and I'm going to rely on those. So that's how people, um, you know, they'll probably get the end state right, but I also am a bit of a free thinker, so they might not understand all the way. Uh, Trump want what was that? He said Trump took the military out of it because he wants the shutdown to stretch out so he can blame Democrats. It's for clout. Well, you can make that argument. You can. Um, I mean, here's the thing. It's both sides. It is both sides. The Democrats, I said, so in the first week of the shutdown, I said, okay, this is going to go longer because the Democrats didn't add by. They didn't add by. I said, so it's not worth them to spend all that money and open the government. So I knew it was going to go at that point. I knew it was going to go 2 weeks. Um, now, uh, I have not seen like the polls have not moved from where they moved before the shutdown. They will move eventually. They will move eventually. And I still think once they start moving, that's when you're going to see the politics of it come to an end. Do I give reaction videos of the military? Sometimes. Sometimes I will talk about. In fact, I've got a whole playlist about military leadership. Uh, yeah, but yeah, when you have these people, these stalkers and whatnot, yeah, the people who, and I can tell with her, it is a mental illness. I've watched her lives, and I have her lives saved. In fact, I need to do a thing on that because I did save her one live, and I was going to do a reaction video. I'll probably do that, and I'll probably do that for members only, um, just so you guys can see that. Government can't be too closed when I see cops everywhere. Okay, it's only the federal government who's closed, and when the federal government closes, mandatory spending still goes on. And mission essential workers still have to show up to work, whether they're getting paid or not. So that's why you will still see cops. You'll still see FBI agents. They are mission essential, and many times they're paid under mandatory stuff. Not always, but many times. The military is not mandatory spending. It should be. Military pay is a contract. There's no reason for it not to be mandatory spending. Both sides could structure the military pay so that government shutdowns don't affect them, but neither side will do it. Neither side will. Everything the troops died for was for nothing. Don't know what you mean by that, Ryan. ICE isn't getting paid. Um, well, they probably will be at some point. So uh, again, Trump has like Congress. Everyone's like Congress has the purse strings. Purse strings. Yes, they set the budget. They set up all the stuff. But when it comes to actually the checkbook, Trump has the checkbook. He writes the checks. They're the bank. He writes the checks. That's the way it works. So Trump could say, you know what? Hey, I'm going to pay all these guys, and we're going to close these parts of the federal government down. Like there's mandatory parts of the government that I mean they've already started reduction in force, and the Democrats hate it, but that is Trump's powers, and you know, like TC says, well, this is all Trump, trying to get back at him. You can make that argument, absolutely, you can. Is it true? I can't tell you. I'm not in Trump's head, and Trump does a pretty good job of like not always um what's the term showing his punches. It because the post World War order, the U.S. was placed in charge of protecting the world's waterways and general global peace. Well, that's not really true. If they pulled out of the UN and NATO tomorrow, World War two or three, I think you mean, would happen. I don't think so either on that. Um, yeah, I don't think they. If we pulled out of NATO, I don't think World War three would happen. But we'll also never pull out of NATO. Why? Because NATO makes us money. Na- NATO, and the way we use NATO is all about keeping Americans working. Americans, and to a lesser extent, people in the UK. And of course, that I would extend the UK to the ANZAC. So United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. It's all about keeping all of them working. That's what NATO is. There's no room in Trump's head for anyone but Bibi Netanyahu. I disagree with you there because he actually got pissed at Netanyahu. It's on brand for current. The Democratic Party tends to benefit from shutdowns. They do. Um, do they always? No. The last one that Trump did in 2019, the Democrats got their asses handed to them. Trump is not shutting down the government. Every single Republican voted to keep the government open. Democrats are shutting it down because page 57 says no health care for migrants. Um, you're wrong about Trump not shutting down the government. No, he does have a hand in it. Uh, and you're right about the Democrats. Like both of them shut this down. Both of them did. That is the truth. Uh, could could Trump negotiate with them on Medicaid and Medicare? Absolutely, he could, but he said he's not going to. So he does have a hand in the shutdown. Democrats, yeah, they're trying to repeal the language from Medicare that prevents illegal immigrants from um, from getting health care. And they keep posting it, and they're like, no, right here, section whatever. It's like, yeah, but read the top part. You are repealing that section. And that is true. And so yeah, both sides both sides are playing politics. The facts are on my side with that. Anyone who disagrees is going to go to talking points. That's why I'm when TC says, "Hey, no, Trump is doing this for clout." There's some truth to that. Like that's an argument he can absolutely make. What did Jesus say about illegal immigrants? Well, they didn't have illegal immigrants. Jesus was, he- for all intents and purposes, he was a vassal of the Roman Empire, and the neighboring states at the time of Jesus were vassals of the Roman Empire. Egypt, a vassal of the Roman Empire. Syria, uh, uh, what did they call what did they call Turkey back then? It was a different name. But yeah, the Jewish people had been conquered by the Romans at that point. um, Yeah, Jesus never said a yeah. He never said a word about illegal immigrants because there was no illegal immigration. You once those countries had been conquered by well, those kingdoms had been conquered by the Romans, you could move freely from one to the other. In fact, The West Wing talked about this. If you ever watched that show, there was an episode where Americans were killed overseas, and the president says, I am a Roman citizen because that's how powerful that was back in the day. If you became a Roman citizen, you were allowed free reign throughout the empire. How you should treat foreigners in your land. Okay, foreigners, not illegal immigrants, Tibbler or Tibber. Uh, foreigners. Like, I don't know of one person that, yes, it was, the Democrat language is to repeal the section of Medicare that says only legal immigrants are eligible for Medicare. That's a fact. That they want to repeal that section. Uh, and what happens when you repeal that section? Illegals get Medicare. Uh, I agree with you, TC. The two-party system is a trap, but the thing is, the way our system is set up, we'll never have a viable third, fourth, and fifth party option. It is the scheme has already been developed to create the two-party system and keep the two-party system. And both sides are guilty of that as well. They're Democrats and Republicans. Yeah, yeah. Tibber should go over to Minnesota MBRR podcast and yeah, definitely debate TC on it. Oh, choking. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've coughed a couple times this morning, and I apologize. Sharia law in the U.S. So the thing about it is, your local government, because it'll never happen at the federal level. Your local government can impose laws. Now, is that imposing Sharia law? Um, I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever get it fully Sharia law, but could they impose certain parts of it? Yes. Uh, can they do all of it? No. For instance, can they pass legislation that, let's say they want to pass legislation that says uh, food must be prepared halal. I would say um, that would be a legal law in the U.S. because we do have laws that say y- l- food must meet these standards, both federal laws and local laws. So could they do that? Yes. Could they say that a woman cannot walk alone on the street without being escorted by a brother or father? No, that's discriminatory. That goes against the 14th Amendment. That would never happen. So are there parts of Sharia law they could pass? Absolutely. Fully? No, I don't see that ever happening. Um, I again, are there parts of Sharia law that I think are good? Yeah, I think there are parts that are good. Um, will it fully happen? No, I don't think so. But now, can the can they do like what they do in Saudi Arabia? In Saudi Arabia, most of there's two types of police. There's religious police, and then there's your normal police. Now, the Amish have kind of stuff like this, where they have police within their community that only deal with things in their community. Can Muslims do that? Absolutely, they can. Absolutely, they can. Um, and like I showed the Amish, there are communities that have done this. Uh, the Jewish could do it, like in Orthodox areas. Yeah, they could literally set up their religious police. Now, will that religious police have any authority over me? No, because I don't prescribe to that religion, and anything they tried to do to me would be illegal. But can they punish people within their own religion? Yeah, they can. Jesus was a socialist, free food, free medicine, free housing, all socialist ideas by Jesus. If you're Republicans, you're literally antichrist. No, at no point, and here's where I'll disagree with you. Uh, did he want people to live in a local socialist lifestyle? Yes. You should feed your neighbor if your neighbor is hungry. Yes. However, at no point did Jesus say the government should do it. And that's where Republicans, like, if you want to feed your neighbor and you in your local church, you're going to do that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. But Jesus said, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, render unto God that which is God. So he did not want uh, anything religious happening by the government. And that's where liberals get that wrong. And I always love when liberals try quoting the Bible to me because rarely ever are they ever like really Christians. Like I just find it funny. Like a lot of them are atheists. And here's the thing. Government socialism is a failure. It's like there's a reason why the UK turned from it. And like Margaret Thatcher said, eventually you run out of other people's money. Everything they socialized in the UK failed. Every religion wants to impose its morality on all people via legislative action, executive orders. Prove me wrong. No, there's truth to that. If you are prescribed to a religion, you will prescribe to a morality. And here's the thing, atheists here in the US, they do prescribe to Judeo-Christian morality, even though they say they don't. They do. Um, and they will act like other cultures are superior when they're not. Western culture and morality, Judeo-Christian morality, I think, is the most superior. Uh, Essential employees work with no pay until the shutdown is over, then they are paid in full. Yeah. And a lot of these places will give them loans and give them their pay, and then when they get their back pay, the institution just keeps that back pay. Cars for kids is Jewish children only. That's fine. Yeah, anyone who wants to debate this about Jesus, TC is ready to have that debate with you. He'll bring you on camera. It's okay, vet firefighter. Hey, these topics were free flowing. I need to see when is Coop and Georgie coming on. I got to turn a thing on so that when they go live, I can redirect everybody there. And I might join them this morning if they'll have me. I They wanted me to come on yesterday and I couldn't. I had the girls. I was babysitting. For those of you who came in late, I was babysitting the last 2 days. That's why I unexpectedly was not doing any type of streams or anything. There we go. There is Judeo-Christian morality. There is. Um, it's our Western philosophy. Uh, Jesus was Jewish, but Jesus did have in some ways his own philosophy, but like it doesn't deviate. It's not old school stuff. And the golden rule, that's Jesus. The bulk of Jesus's morality. And I love how atheists will try to say, "Oh, well, I just believe in people being kind to one another." Yeah, that's the golden rule. You're following Jesus' morality. Um, More of your secular morality, like Kantian or utilitarian, um, has been tried to be usurped by atheists, primarily like atheist beliefs like communism and socialism. Like, and what's funny is in the 20th century, they killed way more people than any like they killed more people atheists in the 20th century killed more people than the previous 10 centuries combined. So that's when atheists say, "Oh, Christian religion." They'll say it with Christianity and religion intertwined. They'll use it either way. They'll say, "Oh, Christians killed more people than anyone else," and that's the religion's the reason we have war. No, that's completely false. Politics is why we have war. War is politics by any other means. Now, can religion be used as justification for politics? Absolutely. Absolutely. But we do have non-political wars. Or I'm sorry, not non-religious wars. We have those all the time. Um, well, it's a new term, yeah, but I'm not going to argue semantics. It's Western theology is Judeo-Christian. Why? Because Western is primarily Christian and Judaism. Yeah, exactly. And you're forgetting Maverick, you're forgetting Mao in there. Adolf Hitler, he was an atheist. Stalin, atheist. Mao, atheist. All atheists. And their ideologies were atheists. Um, and Stalin and Mao killed more than Hitler. Hitler killed 6 million. Take a look at how many people Stalin killed. Take a look at how many people Mao killed. The Great Leap Forward. Oh my God! Like that killed a ton. The one child policy in China. How many people did that kill? Uh, China is not a Mao. You thought Mao was Buddhist? No, no. The Chinese government asserts that it has control over Buddhism, and that is why uh, the Chinese government believes that uh, uh, when the Dalai Lama dies, they have the authority to pick who the new Dalai Lama is. That they that's why they took over Tibet, because they want control over Buddhism. The Chinese government itself is not Buddhist, and that's why the Dalai Lama has rejected the Chinese government outright. The royal bankers, Hitler, Stalin was not was not working for any bankers. He was not working for any bankers. Stalin was against the bankers. But yeah, I love when atheists try to quote the Bible because it's very selective. It's very selective. It's out of context. Um, at no point did Jesus say the government was responsible for anything. No, in fact, Jesus was all about individual responsibility. He was telling you, you need to feed your neighbor, not we need to feed our neighbor. You need to feed your neighbor. That's what Jesus was about. And that's, for instance, like telling the Jews when a Roman soldier would give them their stuff and tell them to walk a mile and carry their stuff for a mile. Jesus said, go the extra mile. Why did he say that? It wasn't because he wanted you to do all these nice things for the Roman centurions. It actually was to embarrass the Romans because they could make you carry their stuff for 1 mile legally. They legally could do that. But if you carried it further, you were embarrassing the soldier because now he couldn't carry his own equipment. So it was about causing them, um, what's it? It was about causing them embarrassment. Okay. And I can take TC telling me I'm wrong. I surround myself with people who tell me I'm wrong. My thought on digital IDs. I think if you want one, you should be able to sign up for one. If you don't, you should not be forced. I have not seen a reason to compel digital IDs. I have not. I want the internet to be as free and as open as possible. And guess what? That means we're going to have to deal with some bad stuff. And I believe that across the same reason I want guns to be free here in the US. It means we're gonna have to deal with some bad stuff. But all told, freedom is better. Okay, TC. See, TC just jumps in here and just tell me I'm wrong. And that's okay. I enjoy that. But I'll tell you this, I will say this, I am not a biblical scholar, and I do go to Bible study, not every week. A friend of mine, he every week he invites me, and I go with him sometimes. I would say I probably go some months I go more than once a month. Some months I just can't go because they do fall on a day where I get busy. Um, so I would say on average I'm maybe going once a month. But I don't believe that I'm a Bible scholar in any means. I study philosophy way more than I study the Bible. That was my that was actually my best class, A plus and in college. And you know what? I credit the priests and the brothers of the Jesuit school I went to in high school. They actually for it being a religious school, I only had 1 year really where we dealt with Roman Catholic teaching. The rest of the time we did talk about post Jesus Acts of the Apostles. We did studies on, we did study that. Um, but it wasn't just about that. It was also about the greater Roman world. That's where we talked about Josephus and stuff like that. And Josephus is very interesting because a lot of atheists who like to attack uh, Christianity specifically, but and say that like Jesus didn't exist. Well, are you denying Josephus? Because Josephus, uh, he did affirm that Jesus was a real person. Why do you want guns to be free? No, not free. I would love it if they're free, but I don't want them all to be free. Uh, but we should have the freedom to have them. And I will say this: I'm not. Some people are absolutists. They think you should have the right to own a cannon. Um, I don't think that's how the founding fathers meant the Second Amendment because they did have some restrictions, very light restrictions uh, on the Second Amendment at the time of the founding. You could not take your weapons into a polling place. Couldn't do it. You could not take your weapons into a court. That was a restriction. Does anyone deny that? I doubt it. They also had racial restrictions, said that free blacks and Indians couldn't own weapons in certain areas. That was acceptable. And I do love, I I can't, I did post it some places. Joe Rogan. Um, in fact, do I have it? I'll play it. It's Joe Rogan. Actually, I got to make sure I'll play it tomorrow if I don't have time. Are Coop and Georgie on yet? Because I don't want to get into their stuff. So they are not yet. Okay. So let me see if I have this of Joe Rogan, because we'll play it together. Because Joe Rogan was talking about Trump on guns, and I thought it was hilarious. No, 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 no. Okay, here it is. Let me send it to myself, and we'll watch this. And I think this is great. I really do. Stalin was after the Russian family that was murdered by the deep state. No, Stalin was already in charge when the Russian family was murdered. Or actually, no, Lenin was in charge when, because yeah, he hadn't died yet. All right. This is going to look weird. I already know it. I got to turn on the audio. And I still can't hear it. There we go. There we go.
See what he's doing right now? This
In Chicago?
This is one of the funniest things ever. They are now saying they're going to look into taking gun rights away from transgender people. So what happens now is liberals have to defend gun rights.
I love it. I know. It's genius.
This is like the
thought about
ultimate
that too.
trap.
Yep.
This is like the ultimate trap. It's like, do they
It's
fall
like
into
the
this?
meme of the guy sweating with the two buttons.
It's like, first of all, he says things that he doesn't mean. Like, it's wild when a president says, "We're looking into taking away Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship." You can't do that. You can't take.
So there we go. There's Joe Rogan. And, I do find that funny about Trump. But yeah, like, do transgender people have a right to own guns? Absolutely. Are they mentally ill? Many of them, yes. In fact, most of them. Most of them are. I would say there's a certain percentage that is not. That's just doing it for attention. But if they were to, like, if you were to have a doctor legitimately look at them, you'd see all the signs of mental illness. And mentally ill people are not allowed to own guns, provided if they're a danger to themselves or others. And I think most of them are mentally ill. I'd say about 95%. And the question is going to be, are they a threat to themselves or others? Dude had literally a white bean head. Who are you talking about? Yeah, it was the White Army in Russia who killed the Romanovs, and the White Army was the communists. Or do I have that wrong? I might have that wrong. But the communists were in charge. It was Lenin who was in charge. They hadn't quite solidified power completely. There was still civil war going on, but they didn't. I think I actually have that wrong. I think it was they didn't want them to get captured by the White Army because the White Army was more sympathetic. I don't believe the White Army was. I don't believe they were monarchists, but they were sympathetic. Yeah, okay. It was the Red Army, not the White. Okay, yeah, but it was the Red Army who killed them. But yeah, it wasn't. Lenin was not a fan of the bankers, so no. In fact, the bankers did not want the family killed because the family still owned lands and had rights to lands. Who makes you sick? I'm gonna pull up Georgie and Coop. Sorry if you guys heard that. I've got it muted now because they did send me the link. I will be joining them. Yeah, they're playing their. Actually, this isn't showing them has started yet. So when they do start, I'll end this and we'll redirect over there to them. Baldy Bruce Willis head. Okay. Johnny, I don't care if people come in here and say things about me. So if you think you're going to get a rise out of me, no. You can roast me all day long. I'm going to laugh. I am going to laugh. So go right ahead. Too fun. Too fun. Oh, wow. We got some new subscribers. Thank you for those of you who subscribe watching today's show. Thank you so much. That's the benefit of doing the vertical things every once in a while. YouTube puts it in front of different people. So, Andrunil Advanced Military Helmet. Okay. The Eagle Eye. Okay. AI directly into the warfighter's helmet. Okay. It's got a HUD display. Okay. Just on its face, Eagle Eye is the name. Okay, just on its face, I'll tell you, I can see where these will be used, but these will not be standard issue. And a lot of people, when they see a lot of this stuff, think they're going to be standard issue. I'll tell you, I can see certain people, without even really going deep into this, certain billets will have these. Like, let's say if you are a drone pilot in an infantry unit, uh, you'll be the one do it. It can literally see through walls. Oh, I bet. I could see forward observers getting these, because it's about assistance of doing their jobs. I could see maybe even platoon commanders. Do I think your typical lance corporal in an infantry unit? Do I think they'll get given this? No, they might be given it during missions, like if they're doing house to house clearing, they might be giving them for that. Yeah, 50 to 80K is the price range. It's just too expensive for our military to make it standard issue. Finally, a stream that isn't a bitter woman fiddling with magic cards and denouncing white Christians. Right? Right? That's what yeah, a lot of these women, there's some crazy women out there. But I will tell you, if you're looking for magic rocks here, I do have Vagination rocks. I need to get selling those. I painted a bunch of them, and I gotta start selling them. Yeah, selling their magic rocks and giving their tarot card fortunes. That's funny. Thank you, Limescale. I appreciate you being here. Uh, Please give us a like, thumbs up, share, any of that good stuff. We do appreciate it. But yeah, with these helmets, and here I'll do a share screen so you guys can see. Well, they're not really showing much about them. It's much like I always get these people who are, they play Call of Duty and they're very into military stuff, and they're like, yeah, we should switch back to the 45. I'll tell you this right now: the U.S. military will never switch to the back to the 45, and the reason is because of planes. And people are whenever I tell people, they're like, huh? It's because how do we move most of our military equipment? We move it through planes. Uh, the 45 and the 9 mil. The 9 mil holds it's like 4 or 5 more rounds. Okay, than what the 45 would. The 9 mil holds more because the bullets are a little bit smaller and a little bit lighter. So what does that mean? That means for a soldier, if I'm carrying a sidearm and I have, let's say, I think I used to carry 4 um, magazine pouches for my sidearm. So that's going to be, let's say I I'm not going to get like I can't remember offhand right now. I'd have to look it up. But let's say I can carry 3 more 9 mil rounds in a magazine than I could a 45 of the same size, right? So that means if I have 4 more magazines, that means I'm carrying 10 more or 12 more rounds than a guy with a 45. And that also means that 12 more rounds, that's additional weight that guy has to carry. Uh, it's nominal when you're talking sidearms, but this is the thought process that goes in because the more and more weight you add to a military member, first off, the slower they're going to be. And then they're also going to need more breaks. So there was early GWAT era, there was this move to get people all this extra gear. And then very quickly they were like, oh, we have to reduce the weight on this gear or find some other ways to do it. Oh, I've got it up. They're just on its website. It's not showing a whole lot, and I'm not going to do a lot of deep down stuff right now. I might do it later, Maverick. But okay, so that's how it means to the individual soldier, your individual infantryman, a little bit more weight. Uh, so that's one reason they won't convert it over. But let's look at it on a macro level. So a 463L pallet is how the military moves things. That's your standard, easy to put it on a truck, easy to put it on a plane, and really easy for a C-10. Like you just push that. One person can push that thing and move it all around because it's got a C-10 has all these little wheels and bearings in the floor to help you move it. You can push a lot of heavyweight stuff very easily. So 463L pallet, that's 4 foot by 6 foot, pallet. So you're probably gonna be able to fit probably 200 or 300 more rounds on that. And how many 463L pallets can you put inside a C-10? Oh, you could probably. You're probably now talking like another 2 to 3 thousand more rounds in one plane. So without any increase to the load of a 9 mil round versus a 12 or a 45 mil round. So that's why we will never switch to the 45. It'll never happen. Some people might individually get a 45, but in mass for standard issue, it's never. When I say standard issue, I mean to those who get that, your staff and COs and officers, they're never going to go to standard issue 45. You can just supply them with way more rounds than you could with a 9 mil than you could with a 45. And I know people say stopping power and all this other stuff, but really, that all when you're in a firefight and resupply logistics, this is why they say amateurs talk tactics, professionals talk logistics. Because when you're in a firefight and you can't be resupplied, a couple hundred more rounds couldn't be the difference between life and death. That's why. Yeah, normal troops won't get the. They might, but only. I don't see that being standard issue. It might be, hey, we like a Fallujah situation where it turns into house to house fighting. They might say, okay, so and so, you're going to be doing this mission, so go over there and pick up your new helmets. That's where I can see this happening. Trade for 10 mil. All 10 mil would be additional weight, and again, that's why the reliability of the 9 mil is a little bit less than the 45. It is. Um, a 9 mil round? No, the 9 mil round is smaller than a 45. It is smaller. Uh, like when you talk about the magazine and the packaging and all that stuff, it is smaller. The 45 it's got more stopping power because it actually has more. Uh, um, what am I trying to say? What's the not? It's not in the the bullet itself. It's got more powder. There we go. And that's what makes it physically bigger. Um, but yeah, that's why the military. All these people who say the military is going to switch, it's never going to happen because the logistics. And then when you're talking about okay, if we were to go to the 45, and now we have to move more ammo and stuff. Put aside the increased weight on the individual soldier. Think how much more money because now you have to send more planes. Oh, oh, a 10 mil. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. The grains. Yeah, yeah. It'll fit in the chamber, but overall, it's a bigger round. Just because you can like just because you can fit something in the chamber doesn't mean it's not bigger. It can be longer. You know, there's other things to it. It can be longer. It can be heavier. Other things that make it bigger. And that's why like a lot of these gun people. Oh, I just see that Georgie and Cooper live. So I'm gonna end this and we're gonna go raid them. We're gonna raid Georgie and Coop. So and I will be joining them over there. So I don't know if they'll want to keep the discussion, but I'll do this discussion tomorrow if they don't. So guys, I'm gonna get going. Thank you as always for being worth serving.